Now, that's what I've been told. Now, whether it's going to shake down like that, dear one, I don't know.
Well, I'm just curious. It just came up, and there's a lot that's not known yet, but it's so interesting that I've got to dig into it. And
well, from what I understand, the sheriff is going to be the highest enforcer of the law in the county. Each county has its own sheriff, and the sheriff's department will be the one that will execute the laws that are created by the County Board of Supervisors. They may call it the County Board of Supervisors in my area, but they may call them something different in your area.
Will they be elected?
Pardon me?
How will they be appointed? Will the supervisors be appointed, or will they be elected, or do you know?
I believe that the common law will dictate that the people of that county elect the Board of Supervisors.
At least we have some control over that.
Yeah, and we're going to have a lot more control over our life at that point.
It's going to be different.
Pardon me?
It's going to really be different.
Yes, it's going to be very different. Like I've told my phone family, if you think it's been a tough road being in this poor position or broke position, wait till you have a lot of money that you got to protect and have all the freedom in the world and have all the responsibility on your own shoulders for your actions. You see, we won't have insurance companies anymore to protect us if we have an accident and hurt somebody. We're going to have to pay for it out of our own pocket. Yeah. We've never lived like that before, you know, and we have to take responsibility for our actions, and that's going to be a hard shift for us. There's going to be a lot of people that won't understand that and will have a hard time conforming to being a responsible person. And so things will be a lot different. They're going to take all the pains that they can to educate us, and there will be, from what I understand, there will be DVDs you can purchase.
That'll be a good thing.
Yeah, so you can refer back to how to operate in the new system. They're not going to just dump this on it.
But the dinar that we have will be all, say you have some certain amount, that'll be all reduced in value, but it'll still buy the same thing. Is that what you're saying?
That's an interesting question. This is the way that the money, the economy valuation is going to be deflated. It's a very confusing situation, so I really don't want to try to explain it.
I understand.
You know, I mean, I've got a handle on part of it, but trying to explain another part of it is very difficult to do a very good job. But I have been told that the money that we're going to be getting after the, like you said, the revaluation, I think that was a good term, and I'm sorry I took issue with it. You were right, and I think I was off base there.
No, you don't have to apologize.
No, I'm not apologizing. I'm explaining my ignorance, you know, but anyway.
You're not ignorant, I'll tell you.
Well, thank you for that, but there's so much I don't know, too, and I'm willing to admit to you I don't, you know, but the thing is when we get our money through our prosperity packages, which a lot of you won't be involved in, but some of you do have them, and the Iraqi dinar, we will have had probably the reevaluation at that time, but we're going to get and this is where it's real confusing. We're going to get our money, and then the reevaluation, I think, will happen either at the same time or shortly afterwards. And we're going to get let's just say, like I explained a while ago, you'll have $1 in your hand today, but then after the reevaluation, you're going to have a dime. And that dime will be buy the same amount of product that $1 did in today's market. However, this big money that we're getting, and I, like I say, I hate to get into this because I get confused myself on trying to explain it. Somehow, the money that we're going to be getting, and all money is the same, so that's where the confusion comes in. We're still going to have humongous amounts of money, okay? And I think I'll leave it at that because I think the more I try to explain it in my limited way, I think it's going to confuse people. So let's just leave it at that. Just understand that you're going to have plenty of money to live a very gracious life. And most people
still do a lot of the generous things we want to do.
Yeah, we're still going to have people that are going to be needy, okay? And in the Bible it tells us that we will always have
we'll always have the poor.
Yeah, and if for some fluke we don't have poor in the United States, there's going to be other countries that that need help too. So,
right.
God knows our hearts, and
Right.
He's going to lead us into an area where we can be of service. Now, this brings up something. I've got a passion for the American Indians. I
do too. I'm part Indian.
Are you really? Well,
probably an 8th or 16th. Don't know where it is, but
do you know what tribe?
I'm so proud. I don't know. Probably Cherokee.
Okay, a lot of Cherokee people out there. The Navajo people at Windrock on the New Mexico-Arizona border, they are the ones that the government took the men during World War II and used them. I think they're called the wind talkers.
Right.
Yeah, and
that's so great.
I know, that's a beautiful story.
Really?
And the saddest part of that whole thing, our government has really, and I hope anybody won't be mad at me for using this term, but it's so descriptive of what our government has done, not only to us, but to the American Indians.
Right.
Screwed the Indians so badly. And my hope was to really help the Navajos get water wells on their extensive property that they have their tribe on. And I had a fellow on our calls there for a while. His name is Willie Whitefeather. He lives up in Oregon. And he's part Cherokee and part Venezuelan, I believe it is. And he's a beautiful, beautiful soul. And he and I had a private conversation several times, and I was telling him, I said, Willie, I really want to help the Navajos get water wells drilled on their reservation to help them, and teach them how to grow food and so forth, or help them. And he said, Carol, he says, the dark agenda, you know how they go in and they go straight down to drill for oil, and then they have developed this method to go horizontal several miles?
Right, yes.
Well, our government has done that, and they have taken all the water aquifers out from underneath the Navajo reservation. He says it won't do any good to drill for water because the water's gone.
That's just unforgivable.
And after World War II was over and the American Indian, the Navajos, the wind talkers, helped defeat the Japanese because the Japanese couldn't decode the wind talkers, the Navajo language that they used for code.
Right.
They took these dear, wonderful Indian people that had been saving our country, and they took them by bus with nothing but a shirt on their back and the slacks that they were wearing and the shoes they were wearing. No money, no nothing, and dumped them off at the entrance of Windrock.
Wow.
Okay, we've used you up and we're going to throw you away. Now, folks, if that doesn't just tear a hole in your heart, I don't know what would. I'm so mad about that I could just chew nails.
Me too, and there's so many other cases of different things like that you just don't believe it. It's hard to believe that they could do that.
Yeah, there's the Bureau of Indian.
The change of president causes a new thing.
What was that?
Every new president, just like during the Civil War, when the presidents change, then the whole scenario changes because of what he believes. Just like it is now.
Well, they're all following the Dark Agenda protocol. They've all been handpicked. Doesn't matter what you and I vote on the ballot. The Dark Agenda is going to put into their corporation structure whomever they want. I am assuming, this is my opinion only, but it looks to me like they've nailed Romney as their next president. I don't think we're going to have an election, but that's what it's looking like to me, that they're setting him up as the new president. And so they all follow the same protocol. It's the Dark Agenda line of determination, and they better fall in step. Now, I'm going to share something with you that's going to blow the socks off of most of you. Some of you might be able to handle it, and some of you won't. And I don't care if you laugh at me. It's okay. And somebody said a while ago they have a hard time talking to their family about these things because their family just rolls their eyes. That is true of all of us that have been awakened to all this nastiness. People in our family of origin and our children and our associates that we work with, they are not awake, folks. You are some of the chosen ones, the leaders, so to speak, that are going to be helping people make peace with this after the fact. There are a lot of people that are going to die of heart attacks because of the shock involved.
Right. It's similar to telling someone about the dinar. Your family.
Oh, yeah. Well, the dinar is part of this whole scenario. I mean, the dinar is just a catalyst right now, and it's helping people to come into this realm and to start understanding what's been going on, and thank God for the dinar. You know, I'm not saying I'm happy about the Iraqi war, but because we have the technology, our government has the technology to zero in on somebody and take them out with a ray through their wall. I was friends with a gentleman and his wife that he was former FBI. He was in his 80s, and he lived out here on the West Coast. And he was the lead investigator on the Snowflake, Arizona abduction case. And, of course, I don't want to get into that, but he's heavy-duty FBI, retired, okay?
Yes.
And I became very close friends with him and his wife, and they were all about trying to expose the pedophilia in Utah with the element that's there.
The what now?
The pedophilia, where...
pedophilia?
Is Beth on? I hear her a train.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
But anyway, he and his wife were really working hard to expose what the horrible things that were going on that are being exposed now. And they took him out, and I talked to his daughter when I found out he had died. His wife had died 3 months earlier in March of the particular year they died. They were such beautiful people. I loved those people. And he, in June, was taken out. And here's how I found out that he was taken out. His family was told he had a heart attack and died, and they believed it because they aren't in the know. I had a lady in Dallas. Her husband was a graduate of Baylor University, and she had been working for the Bach flower remedy company for years, and she'd go all over the world teaching about how to use the Bach flower remedies, and she and I became friends, and so, and she was in NESARA and in the prosperity programs, and so she and I had daily contact. And so when I told her how this gentleman died, his daughter told me he died of a heart attack, okay? She said he was sitting in his chair in the living room, reading his newspaper. He still had the reading light on. His glasses were still on his face, and his head was tipped back, and he was still holding the newspaper. And they were told that he had a heart attack. Well, when I told this lady in Dallas this, she says, Carol, he didn't die of a heart attack. He was taken out. I said, how do you know? She says, when you have a heart attack, you fall forward.
I see.
You fall forward when you have a heart attack. This man, his head was tipped back, and they have the ability to send a ray through your roof or through your walls, either from a van or a vehicle or a helicopter or a plane going by and taking people out. So why do they have to destroy a country like Iraq to get to us, Saddam Hussein? They could have taken him out with a ray. They have that capability.
Yes, so, I've heard about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question. Go ahead, question. Wouldn't you get a chance? Well, I guess, are you finished, sir?
Yes, I didn't mean to take so much time, but...
Oh, that's okay, that's okay.
So glad we were able to talk. So thank you keep up the good work, you guys. You're doing great.
Thank you, Charlie.
Hello, Carol?
Yes, I think Lynn had something she wanted to ask first.
Oh, no, I just, I heard someone come in with a question.
Oh, okay, honey.
That was for me.
Go ahead.
Hey, hi, Carol. I hear everything you're saying about society and about there won't be judges and all that. I was just wondering, what about the element of society that is like your psychopaths, your sociopaths, people that